driving Grab or food delivery, right? So
Straight to the point, it's kind of like a dead end kind of a side hustle. You don't get to learn something very creative. You're really grinding time for money. Hi guys, welcome into today's show. We have Gerald on with us again.
yo, hi everybody.
Hey Gerald, today we'll be talking about side hustles. And the good part, about anybody listening in to both of us is we can give two perspectives. Because side hustles is quite important. If you stay towards the end of this whole discussion, you'll hear some important points that you can take away. Today we'll be ranking each of these side hustles for you in accordance to a few metrics. The first that we'll be ranking is how easy is it to start. Of course, easy depends on, is it requiring equipment? Is it very skill intensive? So these are points that we are considering for you also. Then the second part is how easy it is to make $1,000. I guess Gerald has some experience in some of these. And the third part is how easy is it on your time? Because side hustles, right? It's not your main job. If it doesn't require too much of time, then that's definitely a plus point. So without further ado, let's hear the first item that Gerald, you have on your mind.
First way, right, is known to pretty much everyone in Singapore. Everyone would have definitely thought about it at some point in your life, which is to teach something that you're good at. For example, for me, it's badminton. Some of you might be a good swimmer, so swimming, piano, music, yoga, calisthenics, fitness training. So these are the things that you can teach for side income and actually grow it into a viable business. Back to the rating, right? So actually, I would rate it 6 to 8 in terms of ease to start. But this really depends on the industry you're in, right? Some industry actually a lot easier to start, like running. Where is it easy to make $1,000? So good thing is that most sports co-curricular activities, which I'm a little bit more aware of, are not so difficult in terms of the licensing and the certification. For that, I would rate it maybe also about a 7, because once you get the cert, you are pretty much almost very stable, consistently. You can like get $1,000 if you just put in the hours.
That is, if you manage to acquire a few students with you on board, every month getting $1,000 not too difficult.
Even if it's not within a month, but to slowly accumulate 1,000 in total, it's almost a guaranteed, right? So the last part is it easy in terms of your time? Actually, for this, I would rate it relatively low because competition is stiff. So this means that prices will be pushed down. So then the hourly rate that you earn is quite a bit less than what you would originally think when you're thinking of entering the industry. From a perspective, if I were to recommend someone to come in the badminton world, right, to teach badminton part-time, you need to factor in your equipment cost. Badminton, you need shuttlecock. So these are quite costly as a coach or teacher to get into the industry. So this is one key factor you need to take note of as well.
I was thinking actually yoga instructors, I think they charge a lot. Like $80,
Yes,
$100, I think it's possible also. And then yoga doesn't require equipment, right? It's a skill.
Yeah, but yoga, the studio is expensive. So you need to rent the entire
Oh,
studio and you must have enough packs.
you need
Right?
to
Unless
share
you
profits
do
with the
yoga
center itself.
right? Unless you do yoga in HDB void deck, Zumba, right?
Then in terms of time-wise, right, if it's something you're passionate about, you don't need to spend extra hours to go and learn. For example, badminton, you already know what. Rather than you don't practice that. So isn't it easy on the time-wise? You ranked it quite low in terms of time. The main thing is the traveling time to teach the student. Is it that's your consideration?
If you are coming in as a recreational teacher, right, like a community teacher, if I can sort of rather than a professional, ex-world champion kind of teacher, there is like a cap, right? A market cap because of the stiff competition around. Like if I want to increase my rates, for example, 60 to 90 next year, can I easily do it? Not so simple. Compared to, let's say, digital marketing, right? Raising rates would be a little bit less transparent. Whereas badminton, it's quite transparent. There's a lot of teachers around and the rates are competitive. So now on to the next part. Josh, what do you think would be a good way to start another type of side hustle,
Speaking about something that you are good at, and just now you mentioned about social media, it also spurred a thought in me. Maybe social media manager or a digital marketer can also be a side hustle, because I do employ somebody myself. The main thing is about results. It's like teaching something you like. If it's recreational swimming, there's no end result. It's just getting that certificate. But when it comes to side hustles that require results, that require skill, then maybe social media manager or digital marketer can be a side hustle, but requires some skill in that sense. If I were to think about how to rate it for audiences, whether it's suitable or not, ease to start, probably not so easy. You need to make a certain result on your own platform first before you can charge customers, before customers want to engage you. So ease of starting may be quite hard. Then in terms of ease of time, that part is good also because you can do marketing in wee hours if you're a night owl, for example. There's no need to fix to a 9 to 5. You can do it at 12 midnight. You can do it at weekends where you prefer also. Or you can even pre-schedule things. So in this side hustle, there are certain benefits using technology. Or just in case, maybe you're doing social media for your own company, then you already have that skill set. Then you do it on the side, it's very easy. You already are testing everything for your MNC already. And then you do it as a side, you acquire your own customers. That will definitely still work also. Let's pivot to another topic. Are there other services that are non-tech related, Gerald, that you think are good side hustles? Maybe you've seen some friends do before.
Right. So for me, right, I think a very big opportunity would be like pets related type of side hustle, because my wife she loves animals. She has cats. I think 6 cats back at home. She has a dog. She used to have rabbits, and the amount of effort it takes to take care of your pet is crazy, especially when they become aged, a bit older. You bring them to the vet one time and you bring them like once a month. It's like $300, $500, sometimes $1,000. So those of you pet lovers, right? There's a saying, people like us, we work like dogs so that our dogs live like humans, it's true. When you love your pet, you really would spend a lot for them. Things that you need, and they take a lot of effort, right? So you need to walk them, especially when you travel. You need someone to take care of them. So boarding or walking, $150, right? So very simple task that a lot of pet lovers would probably go through at some stage and point in their life. So I think for these roles, it's probably quite easy to get started, and you don't need particular deep expertise to walk a dog, right? You just need to know how to pick up the poo, make sure you don't irritate the neighbors, and you need to take care of the dog. You need to be passionate, and I think there won't be that many people that would do such tasks, because not everyone's a true lover of animals, right? So in terms of competition compared to like teaching, which I mentioned earlier, is probably, I think, a bit lesser. And money-wise, because it's pets, people are willing to pay a lot more. The money is there, the market is there. But of course, the difficulty is also there if you want to really stand out in this market.
So you do feel that it's quite easy to make $1,000. What's your gut feel on it?
Correct. Yeah, just to cut my own hair, I pay $320, Snip Avenue. To cut my cat hair, it's like $80 for one cat, just to give perspective, right? So yeah, it's a lot. I have 2 cats, so that's like 160 every 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Cut hair leh. Someone come here cut hair. I don't know.
I think I saw before an article of someone in New York making 100,000 a year just by walking pets. I don't know how many you need to walk, or how much of a day you need to spend walking pets.
Really quite interesting. It's a very niche market. On to the next portion, right? So I think the first one you mentioned about social media manager. But social media manager is very specific, like very broad. You handle end to end. Is there maybe like a more specific segment that you would think, maybe a part like video editing, for example, that you can do as a hustle to make money?
Excellent point. I think video editing is required more and more, especially you transit more to visual content, long form content. Every YouTube channel will need a good editor. At least if you know that. So the demand is definitely there. I myself, I hire a freelance editor, so it's also a side hustle for me. I'm very sure. So in terms of maybe starting wise, the skill, actually, for us who maybe don't edit so much, it seems very difficult. Wow, so tedious to do. But for anyone who's well trained in it, actually, it's way simpler. For us to do something that's 10 hours, maybe to do only 3 hours. So in terms of ease to start, if they already have the software, it's not difficult at all. If they already have that skill set, they don't even need to learn too much further. Despite how easy it is to make $1,000. I think it's quite easy because once you are helping a channel, for example, there's always new content generated. You can keep making videos and earn that $1,000 per month very easily. And if the channel blows bigger, like I'm paying a bit more and more to my own editor because I appreciate the efforts. So I do think that is a good side hustle that can scale with time. And also in terms of ease of time, right? If that's the concern also. Again, editing, you can do it on weekends. You can do it at night, 12 midnight. There's no 9 to 5 constraint to things. So it's very free and easy. I think it's a good place to start for anyone that's looking for side hustles.
Do you give your editor to edit the videos?
Oh, couple of days. I think couple of days is comfortable. So usually I would always double check when is a comfortable deadline. And most of the time we get it done in a few days. One day maybe is very stressful because they might have other projects on hand. I think it's unnecessary stress. I don't want to make it an unhappy relationship also. Like when you rush out your content. So usually it's a few days of lag. And they can spend a night just to do. Quite simple.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. I think most YouTubers after like I think 10 or 20 or maybe 30K subscribers, they would probably get a video editor to help them in some way, shape, or form. Or if not, they're thinking of getting an editor to help them because it's quite tedious, right, to edit. It's not difficult, but it takes quite a long time to actually process. And you need to have many variations, right? One for YouTube, one for YouTube Shorts, one for TikTok, one for Instagram. So yeah, it does take this time all add up, so that's why there is a market. On the other hand, it really depends on the type of clients that you work with. I think YouTubers generally the bar not so high, but corporates or companies they are a little bit more picky with the number of shots you need. So there's engaging.
Yes.
The color scheme must fit the branding. And then you need to find B-rolls and all that stuff. So then that can get quite tedious, especially when you have a lot of B-roll and transitions and maybe even animations.
I think that's a very good point. Corporates wise, right? I guess they might engage companies a bit more than freelancers that can do part-time, unless you are super tight and known. So usually their budgets are big also. 5-digit, 6-digit, to do an ad, to do a campaign. Then usually they hire an agency. So in that sense, maybe that's not the most natural clientele for a side hustle. But if you are good, you can still find SMEs, smaller ones that are willing to work on project basis, or YouTube channels who always need
YouTube is like a big market.
Yes, definitely. And
yeah, even for myself, when I try to learn video editing, wow, there's so many things to learn. The skill level, you can start from just basic, chopping, putting things together, to learning how to color grade, really improve animations or even sound, right? How you really make the sound very sick. But it's easy to get started. I kind of agree with you.
And the good part about video editing, right, is just in case you are partnering with a YouTube channel that's growing. It's like leveraging also. You're leveraging a platform that's growing. That is fantastic because as the YouTube channel grows, the revenue grows, your pie or what you can demand also grows. So there is a natural leverage. I think in this side hustle makes a lot more sense. And maybe some of those that we'll be covering in a while. So always think in terms of leverage. Can it help you scale also? So when you look for side hustles, have a long-term objective to things. Speaking of that, any other ideas that you have on mind, Gerald?
Well, I think tuition or teaching is a fantastic opportunity. And I think when you think tuition, right, a lot of people think like, oh, your English, math, science. So then I think that there is actually an underserved market in the uni poly segment. So like for me, right, when I went uni, I changed course. So I was from sports and leisure management, very sporty kind of background. Then I went to SMU Business School. Man, I tell you, the class average was like 70. I remember the first semester, my score was like 20 something, for the first test. So then I struggled. So then I wanted help, but nobody would help because they're all stressed about getting their A grades, right? So what I do, I find tutors to help me in my uni. And I think I paid like 150 an hour to help me with my the business math portion. So I found another senior from SMU who had like straight A's, and he's about to graduate. So it's a lot of free time. He helped me 150 a session, I think about 2 hours long, to pass my uni math. So 150 per hour is good money, right? And it's a niche market. It's actually pretty good money to give tuition.
It's a field that anyone can enter, right? Like, if you are a uni student, you can always coach someone doing O levels.
Agree. That's why so many people do it, and it's been a bread and butter for a lot of people in Singapore as a viable side hustle. Of course, if you want to professionalize it and actually become a viable business, right, then that becomes a lot trickier. But many people have done it. You look at all the private schools around, you can clearly see this is a viable and very big market in Singapore. But actually, right, in terms of time for money, I feel like this one really you're just exchanging time for money.
I think for anyone who is studying right now, uni, undergrad, then this one you probably already know. You just log on to any agency, they can help you find students. So that part of starting, definitely is very easy. That's something I agree with also.
Back to you, Josh. What do you think are some other side hustles we can work on to make some kaching?
I suddenly thought of something. I have a friend who actually sells iStock photos. Jerry, you also do YouTube channel. You've used before, right? iStock images, thumbnails and stuff. He actually sells iStock images. He's working full-time. Then photography is a passion. What he does is he goes for courses. He signs up with iStock as an affiliate, something like that. So he sells his images. And I've seen actually big companies purchase his images for a couple of $100s. No joke. Just to put it on the brochure. Like, for example, like OCBC as a brochure on something, right? I've seen his images go on it before. But of course, the ease of starting requires a lot of equipment. You need a lot of skill to reach the stock footage kind of image. They have some guidelines from what I hear from him. So not so easy to start. To make $1,000 takes some time. You might need to hit some jackpot, which means big corporates buy your image for a couple of $100s or even more than that. I don't know. But usually the transactions are smaller. So to make 1,000, not too easy, but it's definitely still doable.
What about traditional photography or videography, right? You help people, wedding photographers, event photographers. I think those are bread and butters for
That's
a
a
lot
good
of
point. I've also a friend who's doing wedding photography. Wow, so each weekend is at least 2K.
For photography, a bread and butter would be businesses that require a lot of images. Like for example, could be influencers that need images. If you can partner with them, hey, your photography every week, right? We go out for a shoot. Then they have to bring like a suitcase, and then it's like $80 for one shoot every weekend at least. Or if not, you work with like real estate agents where they always publish post new properties. They're gonna need photos pretty much every week, right? So those are like bread and butter, $200 every time you meet them to take photos. So yeah, those are viable opportunities and make a living out of it. And
making a living out of it, I think it's not too easy also. This friend of mine who I spoke briefly, I think he tried to transit to full-time. So if each customer is say 2,500, you need a few to be viable, to cover your full-time work. So you need at least a few weddings a month. So I guess after delving it for a while, he couldn't have that kind of traction. So one a month maybe is doable, but a few a month to become full-time, or the competition part starts to eat into the equation. A bit like, teaching badminton or swimming.
Yeah. And they spend a lot reinvesting into their equipment. Like I know for a few guys that do like photography for real estate agents, right? They always compete with quality of equipment. So they spend one camera like what, $12,000, $15,000. Crazy. I mean, if you earn 2,000 a month, it takes you almost a year just to break even off the camera, right? That you invest so that you can get more business. So then this begs the question, how much does he actually take home every month, right?
So anyone listening in, right, if you have a passion for photography, leave your questions also. What are your concerns, or do you have other methods to make use of this skill that you have? And Gerald, I'd like to ask you also, what do you think about YouTubing as a side hustle?
So for YouTubing, right, I think that it's fantastic if you reach a certain scale. Once you have like the traction, you have a community of people, you have income coming in. Wow, it feels damn good. You can do it. Depending on your niche, you do have the ability to travel the world, to collaborate, right? So then it's a very collaborative community. So like most industries, like if I win, you lose, you win, I lose. But YouTube is a business that is very collaborative. Technically, it's easy to start. In terms of making money, unless you have a well thought out plan, a lot of YouTubers have actually spent time or years building up their channel, and they don't make a lot of money out of YouTube itself. You go around searching how much you make, how much people make from YouTube. You hear people make millions upon millions every single year.
Graham Stephan, that's the outlier. So we should also set the right expectations. YouTube is a long-term thing. You like the influence, you can get deals.
Yeah, I did attend like a YouTube course, So like in America, there was video creators, right? The guru. I paid I think 2,005 Sing just to go and attend the course. And I was one of the mid-sized channels there, so I have about 150K subs. There was this lady, she had only 3,000 subs. She was making like 10K a month. So she was doing like sewing, teaching people how to sew. So then all the aunties would subscribe, and when you start sewing, knitting, right? You like to try different variations. So then every month they will pay her like $30. So then she will give them different recipes every month, and then they will just sew together. And then she makes 10K of it, of like a few thousand subs only. So then it was really amazing. If you have a target niche that makes money and you do it right, you can actually make money. You don't have to be like a very big channel per se.
I think for us in finance space, there's affiliate marketing, right? That we tie on very often to our channels. That's one way to monetize. So if you're listening in and you always wondered how YouTubing can make 1,000, you do need to tap on affiliate marketing as an avenue rather than just the ad. revenue they can derive.
So one thing to note, just not to be a sellout lah, because you know, I think a lot of the FTX scene already reminded us, right? A lot of crypto influencers, they really sell out their soul so they can get the affiliate money in every single time. So yeah, I just want to take note not to be a sellout. Try to be as ethical as you can because YouTube is not regulated. Fun.
Not just ethical as you can. Ethics, keep it at the highest. Always treasure the fans because trust, right? We build. Now anyone listening in, we have that trust. So the intention must be correct. When we recommend something, we should have the intention that it is a good product. Whether it turns out well or not, really the intention at start must be the defining moment. It must be correct. The service or the product that we recommend.
Yeah, saying not financial advice doesn't make the video ethical. I just take note.
Financial advisor could be a side hustle. I suddenly thought also. I think maybe it's not too difficult to start. There's some examinations maybe coming to this point. But I guess the harder part is how to make $1,000 consistently. Exams we can all pass. Getting that consistency requires you to put in effort to continuously learn, to market yourself. So financial advisor, I think I also lump in property agents or any self-employed sales profession. So that would be an avenue to think about side hustles, but usually the hard part is the continuous process. The first few customers may be easy, own family members and friends, but then to survive long term, that's the usual challenge that I can share for anyone that's listening in also. Then in terms of ease of time, the profession requires a lot of time. I guess my approach to things, you need to spend a lot of time marketing, you spend a lot of time upgrading the knowledge. So it's a very knowledge intensive side hustle, like you think of it that way.
Yeah, you said that it's very time intensive, but yet you say it's a side hustle. So is it a full hustle or side hustle? You know what I mean? A lot of I'm just wondering, a lot of people will be thinking, right? Hey, I want to, step into this industry, but they just want to try only lah. Maybe I do 1 day, 2 days a week. You think that is even viable?
I think the mindset cannot. The mindset must be full time. Because when I started the journey myself, I was in university. But also the mindset is very full time. Anytime that I have on weekends and after school hours, I was trying to meet customers. I was trying to learn how to do sales. So the side hustle, the time intensive part, that's where I want to share is probably time intensive. You need to put in a lot of effort to create breakthroughs, to market yourself. It cannot be a side hustle where you just spend weekends, a little bit of time. Whereas YouTubing, you can just produce a content that you like and just sit on it. Whereas a profession of sales requires a lot to succeed.
Yeah, teaching also very own time, own target, right? As long as the student is free, then you work on it. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's very interesting to learn because I think a lot of us not from an industry, we are curious to know, right? How much effort does it take to I think the first benchmark is to be able to get by. Then we talk about, trying to scale and grow the business in this industry. One very popular one now is like driving Grab or food delivery, right? So yeah, actually I think a lot of people are initially there was a lot of taboo, like hey, you do Grab, but now it's becoming, I feel like it's becoming more and more accepted that a lot of people get involved in logistics, right? This is basically a part-time logistic role. Turns out, in terms, okay, let's just do the rating, right? Ease of starting, they actually make it super easy for you to start, but you do need to incur like probably a small licensing fee and like a starter pack you need to don on, their starter pack, right? Pay $100 to don in green or don in pink. Kind of like teaching, as long as you put in the hours, they already have the ready pool of clients for you, so it's not difficult.
I have a point to add. Grab is something easy to start, but I also like to caution, if you are younger right now, Grab is, to put it straight to the point, it's kind of like a dead end kind of a side hustle. You don't get to learn something, very creative. You're really grinding time for money. But on the other hand, if you're someone older, you need to boost up income for mortgage, for family. And then that part I understand. So we always need to weigh that part long-term and short-term. So hopefully that would impact your decision. Then maybe we can conclude with a few key points, for everyone listening in. There are definitely merits to doing side hustles. I'd like to share that maybe the first part is you can get a bit more involved with a hobby of yours. If you like yoga already and you're really good at it, it's mentioned before that some of them have picked up their hobby and converted it to another income stream. You can even develop even more expertise that you may not have imagined if you were just a participant. I've also seen this sharing before by a lawyer that she's mentioned that previously she was doing a lot of flower designing. After a while, that became something she was passionate about. She used it to de-stress. She started to post things on social media and she started to get followers and orders. So right now, even as a lawyer full-time, very hectic, this has become, something that she's created on the side that has become viable on its own already. So what are your thoughts? Things to look out for side hustles?
When you choose a side hustle, you need to be very clear if you have the intention for it to scale to become something bigger, or is it something that you do out of recreation, right? So if it's something that you do out of joy, continue doing it. If you do side hustle, right, I think one key thing that you need to consider is also whether a side hustle suitable for your situation. Because some industries that you're in, let's say you specialize in certain type of roles or jobs, it's very time stressful. And a side hustle may not be the best idea because it can detract your attention from your key work, right? Not to mention, let's say for example, you're a financial analyst, you want to do YouTubing talking about stocks on the side. It jeopardizes your career. So you just be very careful about that as well. You don't want to end up losing your main job because of your side hustle. Yeah, that's a big problem, right?
Always get blessings from your company, right? I guess that's a key part. Yeah, some industries are sensitive, definitely. I guess if you are working in government sector, it may not be supported that easily. Yeah, so that's definitely a key point to look out for. Speaking of this point, I think we can all also conclude, moving forward in 2023, we're all looking for work-life balances. Don't stress yourself out also with side hustles. It can make you some money, but don't focus too much on it. We were trying to list down the points on how easy it is to start, as well as how easy to continue getting $1,000. But ultimately, there are other intangibles, such as creativity, getting distressed from doing the side hustles. That should feed on to your overall objective also. So if you have benefited, smash the like, smash the subscribe. Gerald, thank you for standing in today also.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas too. Take care and goodbye.